In this WrestleTalk news, AEW controversy, Charlotte Flair heat, Crown Jewel Unhappiness, our review of NXT and more. Subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos, and this Friday, my music video punishment of Chris Jericho's entrance song, Judas.
Support WrestleTalk!
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a cause WWE has promoted alongside the Susan G. Komen Foundation since 2012, raising over $2 million. But in one of the most shocking defections of the wrestling war so far, Susan G. Komen to AEW confirmed. Not even Breast Cancer Awareness Month is safe. What's next? Latino Heritage Month to AEW confirmed. AEW's official shop account announced their new partnership by tweeting, "October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. A portion of the proceeds from your purchase of these special items will be donated to Susan G. Komen. Together, we can make a difference." With an AEW t-shirt and sweatshirt in the cause's pink colour. Charity's usually a good thing, right? No! Not according to CM Punk, as many fans immediately pointed towards a tweet he'd made in 2015, effectively shooting on WWE's partnership with the Susan G. Komen Foundation. If you're gonna give money to a company that claims to raise money for finding a cure for cancer, please do some research. Komen is a scam. Looking at Komen's Wikipedia page, because I'm a great journalist, you can see the controversy and criticism section takes up half its contents, which mostly allege how the foundation makes more money for itself than its designated cause. This led CM Punk himself to do AEW's PR job for them, tweeting, "Hey everybody," with a gif saying, "We're working on it," smartly letting those who know, while not outing the controversy to those who didn't. Very quickly, the original AEW shop announcement tweet was deleted, and the shirts were pulled from the store. The items were then re-uploaded with no mention of the Susan G. Komen Foundation, just that a portion of the proceeds from your purchase of these items from shopaew.com will go to the continued fight against cancer. No charity specifically mentioned. While the planned partnership with Susan G. Komen was poorly chosen, opening up arguably the company's biggest star to accusations of hypocrisy, AEW appeared to have recognized this and made amends incredibly quickly. Embarrassing, certainly. But wouldn't you rather that than a wrestling company continue with a morally dubious business relationship regardless of how its talent and fans feel? So Crown Jewel is in Saudi Arabia tomorrow. In How to Do Charity Right, Mustafa Ali has tweeted, "Earnings from the 21st of October event will be donated to charity." I'm meant to be the heel in this feud. Sean Ross Sapp has added that several of Ali's co-workers reached out to say how good of a person he is in general. We do charity too, segue. All the money raised in our Crown Jewel live reactions with me and Adam Blompier tomorrow will be donated to the metastatic breast cancer research charity Metaviva. We've got a $5,000 goal where the Mod Mother, our head moderator, will shave her very long hair for charity. Go subscribe to the WrestleTalk podcast channel now for that, where we've also got our NXT podcast review and Crown Jewel predictions today. Following AEW Rampage beating WWE SmackDown in the Friday Night War last week in a very specific metric, WrestleVotes reported that ratings were a hot topic of conversation backstage at Monday's episode of Raw. It's a report WWE producer Shane Helms, who was there backstage, has denied on Twitter. As someone who was there, I didn't hear one word spoken about it, not a single word. Shrugging guy emoji. Ringside News have corroborated this, saying that the AEW versus WWE ratings weren't actually being talked about because everyone was too upset about the pay-per-view they'd have to leave for in a few days, Crown Jewel in Mansoor's hometown. In addition to the moral complications of doing a paid-for PR show to boost the reputation of an allegedly murderous regime, and the fear of being held hostage on the plane home because of mechanical issues, there's now that added frustration of making that long a flight during a pandemic. We were told that talent were talking a lot about how they must get off the plane in London with their carry-on bags and go through security during a 2+ hour layover only to get back on the same plane. Apparently talent were also discussing the match order for the card as well as the trip back, which hopefully goes off without a hitch this time. So WWE talent and officials weren't talking so intently about the ratings war with AEW. Maybe we really are blowing all these specific numbers and fast nationals figures out of proportion, getting so deep into this quarter hour versus that we disconnected with reality. Well, I don't care if I can still make it fit my AEW is beating WWE narrative. Monday's episode of Raw just about beat the previous week's viewership at 1.59 million, making it the show's 7th lowest figure in history, not the 6th. progress. But far more disastrous was the number the TV advertisers look at most, the crucial 18 to 49 demographic, which pulled in a .39, which was the show's lowest since records began. AEW, meanwhile, also took a hit being bumped from its regular Wednesday slot to Saturday night, losing 31% of their audience to 727,000, with a .28 18 to 49 number. But while that is bad in isolation, when you zoom out, this is actually very healthy growth. The last time Dynamite was bumped to Saturday back in June, it drew only 649,000 viewers with a .21 demo. This means they've increased 12 and 33% respectively. According to Wrestling Observer Radio, WWE management apparently feel like they just need to ride this ratings war out, as AEW will collapse in on itself like WCW did. Do you think that's a wise strategy? Or if that's actually even how they feel given the SmackDown 30-minute extension last week? Let me know in the comments down below. A good person to ask might be one of the guys who ran WCW into the ground, Eric Bischoff. Despite appearing several times as a guest on Dynamite, Bischoff shot on AEW president Tony Khan on his 83 Weeks podcast. If Tony were to call me and ask for any advice, here's what it would be. Shut up and wrestle, dude. Tony can't wrestle. Just put out the best product you can, and you've proven you can. Focus on that. I'm a little disappointed in the rhetoric I'm hearing out of Tony, as well as some of the talent, man. Shut the up until you're actually competing, and you're actually competing favorably. And by the way, Tony, in 1996, I was kicking WWE's ass every week in a real head-to-head competition, not a cosplay competition. Bischoff is likely just saying something controversial to get people to listen to his podcast, but I'm pretty sure Booker T believes every word he says. In Booker's latest Hall of Fame podcast episode, he said about Khan, all of this talk about what you're doing, this and that, back and forth, I swear, man, it sounds like a little schoolgirl saying how pretty she is over the other girls on the schoolyard. Thanks for that mental image, Booker. Booker did eventually admit Tony is a smart guy, but by then his name was already trending on Twitter with a fan backlash against him, which Booker laughed off with the tweet, LOL. Controversially, I can see both sides. Overall, WWE has a significantly higher viewership, and I didn't like Tony's shoot promos last week either. But at the same time, AEW achieving the demographic numbers they are right now is a big deal. And it's also fun when wrestlers call each other out. Speaking on Wrestling with Brandon Walker, MJF said he knows Roman Reigns watches AEW. Roman Reigns lost in the key demographic to Ruby Soho, and Ruby Soho sucks, so I don't know what to tell you. Don't get me wrong, that's not me on Roman Reigns. I think Roman Reigns is a hell of a performer. I'm also sure if he sees this, he'll pretend he doesn't know who I am, because that's what they do over there. When, in reality, I know that they're all watching our stuff. Again, I cannot stress this enough, a huge fan of Roman Reigns. I think he's great, would love to work with him one day. Roman, of course, is kind of feuding with CM Punk too, saying he could beat him up in a real fight. But now Punk is calling out Sasha Banks after she tweeted Punk's own catchphrase that he took from Fantastic Four, "It's clobbering time," before her match against Becky Lynch last Friday, which went against Punk's match on Rampage. Now, in response to Rampage beating SmackDown in certain viewing figures, Punk has replied, "Indeed it was," with a gif of his own face. But why feud with people in the other company when you've got perfectly good backstage heat right here? One of the biggest moves of the draft was current Raw Women's Champion Charlotte Flair to SmackDown, and current SmackDown Women's Champion Becky Lynch to Raw. But that didn't go over well in the writer's room, according to Ringside News. A tenured member of the creative team told us that the Flair and Lynch trade was a popular point of discussion this week, specifically how Raw gets Becky, who everyone likes, and SmackDown gets Charlotte, who is not popular behind the scenes. Apparently, Flair moving to SmackDown had been requested by Fox since their deal with WWE began. This isn't the first time there's been reports of Charlotte's heat backstage. Flair herself has referenced it in promos. She had a legit fight with Nia Jax in the ring in August, and her real-life fiancé Andrade said back in March there is a lot of jealousy directed at Flair for her push, and complaints that she works too stiff. Now it's time for Tempest's review of NXT 2.0 in about 5 minutes.
Every day Braun Breaker gets closer to being a Steiner, and that makes me just so happy. What's going on, WrestleTalk friends and fans? Tempest is back after a week off with another review of NXT 2.0. in about 5 minutes. So this show opened with a promo from the new NXT North American Champion Carmelo Hayes along with Trick Williams as they were interrupted by Johnny Gargano. Hayes had cut a pretty good promo saying he was one of the leaders of the new school, which I do like. I like the idea of him being one of the biggest stars of this next generation of NXT. He's got the talent to do it, and now, thankfully, he's gotten a good opponent. Gargano came out as a fully fledged babyface and said that he was looking for what was next, and maybe what was next was staring him right in the face, effectively challenging Carmelo Hayes for the NXT North American title. Dexter Lumis would get involved, which is where the segment kind of started to feel like it was going on a little bit too long, but overall it was still very effective. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. The first match of the show saw Odyssey Jones beat Andre Chase in a quick squash. There was nothing wrong with the match, but one of the issues that I have with NXT is they spend so much time focusing on people who ultimately lose these kind of matches. Am I supposed to be invested in Andre Chase as a character? They've certainly shown enough vignettes that would lead me to believe that he's a character I should be interested in, but then he goes out and he loses in just 3 minutes. This is a big disconnect for me on this show, and I'm going to give this match a 2 out of 5. It wasn't bad, but it's just a squash. The next match saw Imperium take on the Creed brothers, with Imperium getting the win after a distraction from Kushida and Ikemen Jiro. This was a really weird match for me, with Imperium effectively working as babyfaces trying to fight off interference from Roderick Strong before getting the win over the Creed brothers, which I don't really agree with either, and then they were jumped from behind by MSK, who, as far as I know, are still babyfaces. Someone might want to tell the crowd that. The outside interference from Jiro and Kushida really did bring this match down a peg in my eyes, and then MSK getting involved after the match, absolutely getting booed by this NXT crowd. Oh man, this was just a mess. MSK have completely backfired as babyfaces as of late, and at this point I really don't see a reason not to turn them heel. The crowd's already there, you might as well go with them. The match itself was okay, but the finish wasn't good and the post-match didn't help. I'm gonna give this a 2 out of 5. Next up, Cora Jade took on Elektra Lopez and beat her with a roll-up. This match really wasn't much of anything. This gets a 2 out of 5. We then got a triple threat match between Io Shirai, Persia Pirotta, and JC Jane to determine who gets to spin the magic wheel of mystery over on the stage. What difference does it make who spins the goddamn wheel? Credit needs to be given to Io Shirai for pulling this match together as best she could after JC Jane took a terrible looking spill to the outside on a suicide dive. This became a one-on-one match between Shirai and Pirotta after Jane's injury, and Io Shirai managed to get a decent performance out of Pirotta, although things were still pretty clunky in a few places. If you're looking at this as 2 matches, the first half was an absolute disaster with the injury to JC Jane, and then everything after that was pretty decent. But because Io won, she's the one who got to go over and spin the big wheel of misfortune, and they're having a ladder match next week, yeehaw. This was one of the dumber stipulation matches I've seen recently, and while Io Shirai did a good job to pull this together, this was still tough to watch. It gets a 2 out of 5. Next up, we got another squash match, this time with Tony D'Angelo defeating Ru Feng. Feng was able to get a little bit of offense in, but D'Angelo eventually got the win with his swinging fisherman's neckbreaker before cutting a very entertaining promo after the match. D'Angelo was asked about Lash Legend's missing producer, which he just responded, "Forget about it." The match itself wasn't much of anything, but the post-match was pretty good. This gets a 3 out of 5. Before the next match, we saw Josh Briggs taken out backstage by Legado del Fantasma, which did not stop him and Brooks Jensen from going to the ring anyway for their match. I think this was a pretty effective way to neutralize the big, tough babyface team and make them a little bit more susceptible to the smaller heels. I think Legado del Fantasma should have been called up in the draft. They don't really have much else going on in NXT, and they're a pretty complete package as a unit. They should be moved up. Raul Mendoza and Joaquin Wilde were able to pick up the win in this match, and I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this match. This gets a 4 out of 5. The next match somehow had the second dumbest stipulation on the whole show, as Grayson Waller took on LA Knight to see who would be able to host Halloween Havoc next week. I'm not sure why anyone would care about this, but thankfully the match itself was really good. Grayson Waller has shown a lot of promise during his short time in NXT, and he had another good performance here against LA Knight. This was a pretty standard back and forth match, with LA Knight getting the win with the blunt force trauma, so I guess we have him being the host of Halloween Havoc to look forward to. The stipulation means nothing to me, but the match was pretty good. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. And then we got the main event. Can they coexist? Tommaso Ciampa and Braun Breaker taking on the Grizzled Young Vets. Even WWE is pointing out the can they coexist trope that they use oh so often, and just so you know guys, wink wink nudge nudging your own problems is not fixing the problems. What was the story of this match? Well, Yeah, the story was sometimes they could coexist and sometimes they couldn't, with Braun Breaker eventually getting the win with his press power slam. Listen, if this was the first time that I'd seen the can they coexist trope in WWE, I'd probably have enjoyed this match a lot more, but I see this trope probably about twice a week, so I'm kinda tired of it. As for this main event, I'm gonna give it a 3 out of 5. It was still pretty good, but they could just do away with this can they coexist stuff, and we will be so much better off for it. Overall, this was another week of NXT being decent some of the time and completely missable most of the time. I'm gonna give this show a 2 out of 5. I want it to be better. So bad. And that just about wraps it up for me. If you want to hear more of my thoughts on this week's show, make sure you go over to WrestleTalk podcast later on today, where myself and Lori Blake will be going over the entire show in detail. Until then, make sure you give Ollie Davis a hard time. Pete's not around to do it, so you help us out. LIW for life.
Hello, I'm Adam from No Rolls Barred, and welcome to Board Game Club, where the first rule of Board Game Club is actually a toad. Every week we gather together a group of our friends here at Draft's Board Game Cafe in London to play a game to show you how much fun board games can be. This week we'll be playing Cockroach Poker.